Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Elise, and this is 10 to Life, where we talk all things true crime. I am not obviously very prepared and put together. I just got out of the shower, but I wanted to jump on here and talk with you guys about a case that is happening right now. And you may have already heard about it. I'm sure some of you have not. But today there was an unspeakable tragedy that took place in Texas. There have been a lot of rumors swirling around, a lot of misinformation out there, and there was something pulling at me, just telling me to jump on here and share all of the information that we have so far so that you guys can really weed out what is rumor, speculation, fact-based, and get a clear picture as to what is going on. Because, of course, everybody's imagination is running wild, the rumor mill is running wild, sick, twisted, young and probably old idiots are creating fake profiles of this person on social media. It is just outrageous. So we're going to break it all down for you today. What was supposed to be a normal school day for elementary kids in Texas turned into a complete nightmare. A gunman stormed into Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas this morning and shot several people, including students and staff. Salvador Ramos, an 18-year-old high school student from Uvalde, Texas, killed 18 students and 2 adults in a mass shooting at Robb Elementary School in a city near San Antonio. But how did this happen? What was his motive? And were there any red flags prior to the shooting that could have saved dozens of lives? So we're going to talk about all of it, guys. It's not easy. It's not going to be an easy one. So please get ready, prepare yourself, and let's get into it.
10 to Life with Elise starts right now.
Salvador Ramos is an 18-year-old high school student from Uvalde, Texas. Just a few days ago, on his 18th birthday, he allegedly bought 2 assault rifles. What his sinister plans were for those firearms had yet to be discovered at that time. 3 days ago, Salvador posted an image including what appeared to be a Daniel Defense AR-15 with a high-capacity magazine. Another image posted from April 28th showed someone holding a magazine clip. So was this an early indicator of what was to come? On Tuesday, May 24th, 2022, Salvador started his morning like any other morning, except this morning was different because it would be the morning that ended in tragedy and one of the worst school massacres in American history. Early Tuesday morning at around 5:30 a.m., an Instagram account that appears to belong to Salvador sent direct messages to a teenager in Los Angeles, telling her that he wanted to share a little secret and that he would tell her before 11 a.m. And 11 a.m. is a key time in this case. The recipient of these messages shared screenshots of the messages, and she said that she barely knew Salvador, but had been randomly tagged by him in photos of guns before. He said that he would text her in an hour and that she would have to respond, but she said that she might not be awake. The last thing he wrote was, "I'm gonna air out." A TikTok account with the same handle and profile picture as the Instagram account featured a clip of a mobile game and then the line, "Kids, be scared in real life." Both accounts have since been taken offline in minutes following the Texas governor's press conference. So after he sent these direct messages, early morning hours on Tuesday, a little before 11 a.m., Salvador reportedly shot his grandmother. He then got into his vehicle and fled. Now, certain details are still emerging, but apparently, and it's been reported on good authority, that Salvador was a murder suspect, and a bolo had been released for him, which is a be on the lookout. Now, if that was for the shooting of his grandmother or the shooting of someone else has yet to be released. However, this resulted in a high-speed chase with police in which Salvador crashed his vehicle near the elementary school around 11 a.m. He then fled on foot to the elementary school, where he was once a student, with students ranging from 2nd to 4th grade and with a total enrollment of a little under 600 students. Once he was inside of the school, he barricaded himself inside with a rifle and a handgun. Texas Department of Public Safety spokesperson said, as soon as he made entry into the school, he started shooting children, teachers, whoever was in his way. He was shooting everybody. And this just absolutely kills me because it appears his motive may not have ever been to even go and target these children and the school, and that somehow he ended up there due to the location that the chase ended and where his vehicle crashed, meaning that this very well may have not been planned. He opened fire inside that school and killed 18 students, ranging from 2nd to 4th grade, and 2 adults, while injuring dozens more. The school was just 2 days away from beginning summer break. U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which is the largest enforcement agency in the area, had more than 20 agents respond to this shooting. 2 officers were shot during the confrontation, but these were not life-threatening injuries, luckily. 1 agent was shot in the head, but is in stable condition after the bullet apparently did not penetrate. Salvador was shot and killed by gunfire from law enforcement while they were on the scene. At approximately 2 p.m. local time, the district said parents were cleared to pick up their children at the local civic center after the school had gone into lockdown and students had been evacuated.
We're going to actually bring back independent journalist Ali Bradley, who was live on the scene, to join us in this discussion. So, Ali, tell us again what you've seen so far since you've been there. I know you said you arrived shortly after this happened.
Yes, you're exactly right. As soon as I arrived on scene, we were actually very, very close to where the school shooting took place. Obviously, I think you guys have some images of the vehicle as well. So what I can tell you here is that this 18-year-old was actually a murder suspect, and there was a bolo out for his vehicle, which is why the pursuit started in the first place. It ended here near the elementary school, and then they actually ended up running into the elementary school. And when police officers and Border Patrol and other agencies arrived on scene, they found loaded magazines, AR-style magazines, on scene outside of the elementary school. They also found loaded ammunition and guns inside of the vehicle as well. As you mentioned, he killed at least 15 people. He himself is dead. He shot his grandmother as well. Now, I can tell you I just got confirmation from a very credible source saying that a BORTAC agent, which is the SWAT arm, basically, of Border Patrol, is the person who was able to take down that shooter and ultimately end his life and end that shooting spree as well.
All right, so this was not, this shooter then did not take his own life from what we're learning. Ali, can you tell us what time did this all start? Because as you said, the suspected gunman was the subject of a bolo. Be on the lookout.
So again, he was a murder suspect that they were looking for. So when this pursuit began, what time is it now? 4 o'clock. This was about 4 hours ago. Let me look at my information here to give you an exact time. So at 11:40 this morning is when they actually got the active shooter via communication. And I'm looking at a breakdown of their timeline right now that I got from, again, a very credible source here on the ground. And they deployed several units within moments between with U.S. Border Patrol, Texas DPS, which is the Department of Public Safety. DPS's SWAT team was also dispatched, and so was the air team as well through DPS. So multiple agencies arrived here. They were dispatched within 5 minutes of the first communication that this was going on. About 12:11, there were more medics requested, and that's when they were doing the rounds around the school and found multiple AR-style fully loaded magazines near the building. Students were evacuated. They were taken to the Civic Center. Now, I can tell you one of my sources, who's a Border Patrol agent, has a student that goes to the school, a 3rd grader, and we didn't know if he was safe for hours. It was a really, really scary scene for the mother. Hopefully she is, okay. She's very shaken up right now, but she's waiting for her other student to be released from school because all of the surrounding schools were also on lockdown.
Now, Ali, do we know, have the students at Robb Elementary specifically, I know you said it has an enrollment of about 1,600. Have those students been reunited with their families at this point?
From what I understand, most of them at this juncture have. Again, they were removed from the school and taken to the Civic Center. Some of them, like I said, they were, my agent was able to be reunited with their son. So for the most part, I think these families have since been reunited, but I don't have full confirmation that every single family member knows the location of their child right now.
By the grace of God in all of this, his grandmother was airlifted to San Antonio and apparently is still holding on, according to information that was given by the Texas Rangers. Governor Abbott gave a brief press conference on the shooting just hours later.
First, I want to tell you that what happened in Uvalde is a horrific tragedy that cannot be tolerated in the state of Texas. And there is swift action being taken by local law enforcement as well as the Texas Department of Public Safety. They obviously now know who the shooter was, and the shooter is no longer alive. Let me give you some details, and then I'll give you a summation about that. The shooter was Salvador Ramos, an 18-year-old male who resided in Uvalde. It's believed that he abandoned his vehicle and entered into the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde with a handgun, and he may have also had a rifle, but that is not yet confirmed according to my most recent report. He shot and killed horrifically, incomprehensibly, 14 students and killed a teacher. Mr. Ramos, the shooter, he himself is deceased and is believed that responding officers killed him. It appears that 2 responding officers were struck by rounds but have no serious injuries. The Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Police Department is the investigating agency, and we will provide them and the city of Uvalde substantial investigative and patrol assistance. We're in the process of obtaining detailed background information on the subject, his motive, the types of weapons used, the legal authority to possess them, and conduct a comprehensive crime scene investigation and reconstruction, and identify and interview all witnesses and provide victim services and other support as needed. Victor Escalon is the Texas Department of Public Safety South Texas Regional Director. He is on the scene, and everything that can be done will be done. In addition to that, it is being reported that the subject shot his grandmother right before he went into the school. And I have no further information about the connection between those 2 shootings. And the subject is reported to be a student, to have been a student at Uvalde High School, and is a U.S. citizen. Bottom line is this, however, and that is, when parents drop their kids off at school, they have every expectation to know that they're going to be able to pick their child up when that school day ends. And there are families who are in mourning right now, and the state of Texas is in mourning with them for the reality that these parents are not going to be able to pick up their children. Our job is multifold. First, to make sure we address exactly what happened at this crime scene, and then second, to make sure we take that information and do everything that is necessary to ensure that crime scenes like this are not going to be repeated in the future, and that we're going to be able to ensure the safety and security of our schools.
Thank you, guys.
I'll be happy to take any follow-up question about that they may have.
There was 14 students and a teacher, so 15 in total.
That is the information that I have.
You said the officers were okay, that were acting,
It's my understanding that 2 officers were shot, but other than the wounds they sustained, they will not be fatal shots. They were going to survive their being shot.
As a parent, this is one of my biggest fears, the world that our children are now growing up in. Now, I want to talk a bit more about Salvador and the red flags that he was showing before the shooting occurred. We know that he posted on social media, flaunting his new weapons that he bought for his 18th birthday. He also had apparently reached out to somebody indicating that he had a secret plan. Now, we don't know how many people he truly did reach out to. Only one has come forward so far. Could there be more? Possibly. And this is just a glaring reminder that when you see something alarming, say something. If you are getting cryptic messages from somebody you don't know, or even somebody you do know, err on the side of caution, bring it to somebody's attention. If you see somebody posting tons of photos of new weapons, huge magazines, all of these things with cryptic captions, if it doesn't sit right with you, say something, because we can never be too careful. Now, the motive is still unclear as to why Salvador was on this deadly mission. What we do know is that it appears he did in fact plan to kill his grandmother and possibly others based on his direct message on Instagram and indicating that he would share the details with her before 11 a.m. because 11 a.m. is when Salvador had scheduled this horrible tragedy to unfold. Many celebrities and politicians are speaking out and taking to Twitter. LeBron James said, "There simply has to be change, has to be. Praying to the heavens above, to all with kids these days in schools. My thoughts and prayers go out to the families of loved ones lost and injured at Robb Elementary School. Like, when is enough enough, man? These are kids and we keep putting them in harm's way at school. Like, seriously, at school, where it's supposed to be the safest." Chris Evans, who famously plays Captain America, tweeted, "Effing enough," a sentiment that I think that we all share. And many others are speaking out about gun reform and how we can avoid mass tragedies like this in the future. Because this marks at least the 30th shooting at a school kindergarten through 12th grade in 2022. Let that sink in for a moment. We are not even halfway through the year, and there have already been 30 shootings at schools that house children from kindergarten to 12th grade. Innocent children. As we all are trying to make sense of this and trying to cope and grieve the loss of all of those kids and grieve for the family members who lost these children, all I know is that tonight we are all going to sleep with our hearts a little heavier and with our spirits a bit more crushed. I know mine is. It is such a senseless act of violence and such innocent and young casualties just 2 days before summer break. And I'm sorry that I'm getting emotional with you guys. You know that when it deals with kids, it strikes a chord with me. Please hug your children tight and always just say something if you see something. If you see something that feels off ever, just please say something, because very rarely is our intuition wrong. And maybe by saying something, maybe we will be overcautious in some situations, but maybe we will save lives in others. So please hug your kids tight, hug your loved ones tight, and please say a prayer for all of those families who sent their innocent young children off to school today and now don't have the opportunity to safely tuck them in their beds and say goodnight. It's devastating and it's heartbreaking, and it's just one of the worst tragedies that we've seen in a while. A mass tragedy, I should say. So, as I mentioned, new details are coming out minute by minute, and we are learning more and more. So I will jump back on here and I will give you all of the updates as they come in. So if you are not subscribed yet, subscribe if you want to be notified of when those updates take place and when I post those videos. Okay, guys, until the next one, please, please, please stay safe. Thank you.